With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right?
Oh man, Trump is 100% serious about that one. He wants to end wokeness once and for all. He wants to stop the woke agenda and stop the transgender ideology from poisoning the schools, the military, and sport as well. Let's watch the next video.
The US now, Donald Trump has wasted no time preparing America about what to expect when he returns to the White House. He declared that woke has to stop, insisting that it's destroying the country and essentially that woke is BS.
With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And we will keep men out of women's sports.
Freya, I think there are going to be a lot of relieved parents and relieved women hearing that message from Donald Trump.
For sure. And I think this is the courage that so few political leaders really have. And it's easy now to look at Trump saying this stuff.
Yeah, Trump is basically doing what he was elected for. Many of the Trump voters agree with his vision of ending wokeness once and for all. And that's exactly what he does.
Be like, well, of course men shouldn't be in women's sports. But that was not the consensus position. Even a couple of years ago, even a year ago, things were so different. But it just shows you the power that courageous individuals can have and how we can actually turn around our culture. We really can. Conservatives often resign themselves to the backseat and say, oh, well, everything's just going to get more progressive and there's nothing we can really do about it, but try to resist as much as we can. But at the end of the day, it's a losing fight. No, we can actually turn the ship around. And I think the way Trump has come out so strongly against this crazy, radical, anti-reality wokeness and the way he has been rewarded by the general public shows that conservatives need to get up off their butts and stop whining about always losing every fight because they don't have to lose. We can actually win fights. And this proves if we're on the side of truth, if we're on the side of reality and common sense, we will win.
Yeah, and we...
Yeah, I think it makes total sense to me. I think it's great to stop bullying. I think lesbians, gay, trans people should have the right to do whatever they want, but they have no right to impose their views on other people, on children especially, in schools, and force women to compete with men in sports. That's total BS to me.
Saw that in the US, didn't we, Joe, with the election results? The pendulum really swung and people really rejected all this woke nonsense.
Yeah, and it's not just the right, it's not just conservatives as well. So there is just a huge number of people in the Labor Party who were thinking the exact same thing, but basically thought that they were the only ones thinking it and were scared to say anything in case they were cancelled or pilloried. They're back now. And again, Chris Minns is the embodiment of the sensible centrist Labor Party, and he's done some fantastic things for trans people and the LGBTQ community. Done things that, you know, if anyone else did them would be seen to be woke, but he's done it from a really sort of calm and careful and considered sort of sensible position. And I think that is the problem here has not necessarily been the issues themselves, but it's been the activists behind them. And it's been like what Freya said, where you have these people who care more about the sound of their own voices than they do about actually achieving outcomes or indeed the vulnerable people who they might be pretending to represent, but where they just want an issue to fight for. They want to be on the forefront of something. They look around, oh, we've got marriage equality for gay people. Oh, what's next? Trans. So now you have to accept that trans women are women, and if you don't say that absolutely, and again, that absolute dogma, absolutely all the time, no matter what, then you're transphobic, you're a bigot, and you have to be cancelled. And they get sort of ahead of these arguments, and then they try to brainwash people and say, if you don't support everything we say, this new orthodoxy that we've spelt out, if you don't support all of it, then you're a bigot and you're on the wrong side of history, and this is just progress. And so Conservatives think, oh, gee, that's progress. That's what I don't want to, end up looking like, a white supremacist during slavery or whatever. I better just do whatever they say. And of course, if you are seen to cross them and they do pile on, as we will see later on the show, then it is just absolutely brutal and it's ferocious. And people who would otherwise be sympathetic to a lot of these issues, and certainly a lot of the people who are suffering as a result, just go, well, no, screw you all. If you're just going to run around marauding people, abusing them, telling people, trying to come for people's jobs or whatever it is, just because they don't agree with the last thing that you've said everyone has to agree with, then I'm just going to be opposed to whatever it is you say, no matter what, because that is what you're doing to everyone else.
But that's the thing, it's different from...
Well, I think he's got a point. Many people are empathetic with gay rights, with LGBTQ people that are getting bullied in school and in the general public as well. I think most people would agree that you can live your life as you want. If you want to dress like a woman, dress like a woman. If you want to marry a woman as a woman, you can do so as well. Same thing for men. But don't impose your ideology and impose on everybody else to think like you do, and to force them to call you by as how you want, basically, to impose some kind of language to other people. That probably goes too far, way too far.
From, if you're conservative and standing up for your values and what you believe in, you don't have to be labelled a white supremacist, a Nazi, all these horrible things that that's right. With.
Exactly. Like the idea of calling Donald Trump a Nazi is.
And we heard that on repeat.
The person that is most insulting to is not Donald Trump. It is all the actual victims of Nazism.
Yeah.
And of course, the Jewish community would laugh their ass off at you because to them, Donald Trump is the saviour who's delivered the best result for Israel.
Honestly, I think they are extremists and on both sides, on the right and on the left. And you should basically be reasonable and use your common sense and be tolerant and accepting of other people without imposing your own views on other people and tell others on how they should live their lives.
In his presidency, than any of the other presidents could deliver. But again, it just shows that anyone, it's that ridiculous extremist ideological thinking where if you don't agree with everything I say, you're a bigot, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, and there's no shades of people who disagree.
I think the key problem that the left will always run into is that what is progress? And if you blindly pursue progress as the virtue in and of itself, you're actually not bound to any underlying values. There's no guiding philosophy other than the fact that we need to move forward, regardless of where we're moving to. No one will tell you, but what are we progressing towards? Just endless revolution, endless tearing down of the cultural fabric, endless undermining of everything, that's built Western civilization, because that is progress and that is the only value that they hold. But conservatives will win. And I don't even think it's conservatives necessarily. I think people on the side of truth will win.
Normal people.
When we actually stick to truths that have held the test of time, gender being one of them. Hey, the fundamental binary that at a base level distinguishes the most fundamental differences between human beings, gender, that's actually a real thing. And yes, there are only two. If we stick to truth as our core value, we will always come out on the right side of history, because eventually truth will prevail. Reality
will prevail. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section on this. The majority of normal people wanted to stop. Yes, I totally think that the woke movement is going too far. people should not be afraid of offending overly sensitive people. Yes, I think you should definitely develop thick skin to be prepared with the hardness of life and the difficulty that you're gonna face in life. I voted against woke. I voted Democrat my whole life, but they have gone way, way, way too far. Yeah, I agree that now the Democratic Party should try and do better if they want to win the next election. Otherwise, they are probably gonna lose once again in 2028. They have to learn from their mistakes and try to improve if they want to have a chance again. And leave the kids alone. Yes, there's no point sexualizing the children. The children should be protected. They are the most precious thing in the whole world. Of course, men shouldn't be in women's sports. That's total common sense. How far we fallen when we are having a problem understanding this? Yes. Wokeness in company must stop. Yeah, company adopting wokeness is basically companies trying to make money. They want to appear like they care about these kind of issues so that customer buys from them, but in most of the time this is very, very detrimental to their businesses. Stop wokeness in film, TV series and video games. Well, it depends probably on the customer. If most of their customers are woke, then they probably will still adopt wokeness in the future. I'm French and I look at this with hope. Stop wokeness in Australia. I was not a Trump fan until he came down that elevator. Never watch his TV show. I'm not American, but he is now the hope for the whole world. Well, we will see about that. Many people voted Donald Trump because they think he is hope for the whole world. We will see. We will see over the next coming weeks, over the next coming month, if he actually keeps his promises, if he actually keeps the promises that he made during his campaign and make it come true, if he actually reduces inflation, reduce the cost of living, boost the economy, grow the GDP, stop illegal immigration, if he actually bring peace and prosperity back into the world. We will see what happens if he actually managed to do it. And we will report it all right there on this channel. Hopefully he does. Hopefully we will get better. Hopefully the world will be better. We will see. Thanks for watching and staying with me. Click right there to watch the next video and I will see you there. Bye bye for now.